So this is what I've been working on this summer here, starting off. This is a 1949 Farmall C. Um, Got it from one of my dad's co-workers. It had been sitting since the late 90s or early 2000s. Um, it had a loader on it, which I took off. I still have that. It didn't run or anything. It had one flat tire, which fortunately I was able to tube it, and it holds air just fine. It had a ton of cracking though, especially the spot where it had sat down, which is down here. So what I actually did is, I know this is pretty jank, but these 36-inch tires are quite expensive, as in like $400 for one. So a pair, basically what the tractor's worth. So what I ended up doing was actually, you see all that black stuff that looks like silicone. It's not silicone, it's actually urethane, which is used to set windshields. Oddly enough, I went online and I think it was like YT Tractor, one of those places. I actually recommended it, and it seems to have worked pretty well because it's set up, really strong. I've driven it around a little bit since, and it's, pretty good. I mean, I had a ton of extra, so I figured I might as well go through and get some of those cracks. I mean, the tire has a tube in it. It's not like it's, holding back air or anything. The next big problem I found out here is this seal. That little stub there spins. I guess you would call it your brake drum, if you will, for the band brakes. And that leaks like a pig, as you can see. So Napa should have a new one of those for me this afternoon, and apparently that's a real task getting the old one out of there, but that should be pretty easy to pop in the new one and put it all back together and be good to go. That seems to be the main leak left. I did drop the pan, tune that up, new gasket and everything down there. I need to put that little cover back on. I got some new front tires. Carlisle, actually, they're Farm Specialists, which is their American made line. It was like exactly $100 shipped, so I can't really complain about that. I did have her apart. I had the valve cover and the head off. Cleaned everything up. Looks pretty good. Someone had put Super C pistons in here, which is cool. It's a little bit heavier. I had the radiator off, cleaned that up, shot off a little bit of Rust-Oleum. The sheet metal, a friend of mine does auto body, so he's cleaning that up. I mean, the tractor looked okay. It had been, painted and set inside a barn, so I'm just kind of going along, touching it up, a little rattle can underneath, places like this, it's going to be covered with sheet metal, and it's not super obvious, but, it looks better red than, rusty or whatever. Got to the gas tank. I've been kind of, gently sanding that off. That'll look pretty good too. I did buy a battery box. I have that all painted. I do need to mess around with the lights a little bit though first, because it's a bit of a job. I think I'm going to have to take these linkages off on one of the two sides to get the battery box in. It's very tight. It's also part of this cover. So I want to get everything working in there before I do that and basically seal it off. And then I'll probably sandblast the whole rear ear and shoot that too. And pretty much the whole tractor will have been repainted, minus a few linkages and whatnot. I do have the seat cover for it. But yeah, might pick up a fast stitch. A friend of mine actually has one. He'd be willing to sell, pretty cheap. Those aren't actually, they were never an option for the C's. It's, off a Super C. The only bad thing is you have to modify this box that the seat sits on your toolbox. There has to be like 2 bearing retainers, and a shaft actually goes right through there. So I'm not huge on that. I could get a Super C one, but that's also where your tag is. That's not great. But it's kind of nice. Unlike the A's and the B's, these actually do have live hydraulics. This is one of the first things International, tried them out on, or actually I guess the first driven, off I guess the cam there, like the distributor is. It's kind of cool. It has live hydraulics. It's still, not a live PTO, but kind of cool. One of the first Internationals to have that live, 2-way hydraulics. Well, I guess right now it's set up for 1-way, but good to have 2-way. You don't see this plunger and then linkage on a whole lot of them. That's kind of rare. But yeah, hopefully it'll turn out pretty good. Got a nice reproduction battery box over here, painted the other day. Made in America, which is nice. And I've got the cover over there somewhere. But hopefully in a couple weeks here, it'll be a pretty good looking little tractor. I've always wanted a Farmall C. I don't know. I mean, they're a little bit rare. There's fewer C's made than Super C's. But I mean, it's not a super useful tractor. I figured it'd be good for raking hay, but maybe that's about all. It's only, 20 some horsepower. So I guess back then that went a lot farther along than it does today. Obviously this has quite a bit more power than, your modern 25 horsepower lawnmower. But, but yeah, it would be kind of cool to pick up the belt pulley to go on here too, but maybe someday. But yeah, I'm not too concerned about fenders. It doesn't have any. I think they look better without them. These, I'm not, it's actually a pretty comfortable platform. The seat all the way back. It's not like I really have passengers or anything. I'm not too concerned about falling off, a whopping foot or two. I guess closer to 2.5, 3. But yeah, figured I'd just give a quick overview, see what was going on. Hopefully we'll have some pictures here or another video when she's all done in a couple weeks, so stay tuned.